Here we are. This is London. There's data. This is big. This is Big Data London, everyone. We're thrilled to be here. I'm Scott Taylor, Data Whisperer. Everything we do today turns to data. And as your business and your business process transform from analog to digital, everything we do turns to data. And enterprises of all sizes are struggling to make sense of it all because instead of creating fabulous insights, this data can create a ton of chaos. So, all of you data leaders out there, you might be a CDO, you might be a CDAO, you might be the CDAIOU and sometimes YO. All of you know how to bring value to your business. You know how to help grow your business, help improve your business, help protect your business with data. But do you know how to explain it to the business? Can you explain why it's important? That's why we're in the Why Access Keynote Theater here today, because today is about why. Or do you spend a lot of time bragging about the latest analytics graph of fabric mesh? Do you debate the subtle nuances between data product, data as a product, and data productization? It's an unfortunate fact in this world we live in that the tech talk and the tech speak is overwhelming this space, which is why I have to say data is the new bullshit. Or bullshite, I guess I should say, for this group as well. Why the way we talk about data is holding the industry back and what you can do about it. That's what I'm going to try and help you with today. So this is my special GenAI edition because everything we did last year, all you got to do is add GenAI. Right now, it's all of a sudden it's up to date. Even my own name, I'm adding AI in there. That works. And I'm thrilled to be brought here by the fabulous folks at Infocepts. You saw their speaker reel earlier today. They're wonderful folks, and I work and help them with content. And my mission today is to help you bridge the story gap between data and the business. Do you need stakeholder engagement? Do you need more funding for the work you do? Then you've got to be able to put together a business accessible narrative that your CEO will understand. Like I said, you know how to do it, but I just hope today I can give you some new ways to talk about what you already know. So my company, Meta Consulting, we're about what it's about. Meta, no, we're not changing our name to Facebook. I get that question all the time. I talk about how we talk about data. It's a wonderful gig. And I provide what I call data evangelism as a service, a way to get people fired up about the work that you do. And I focus again on the why, not the how. I never met a CEO or especially a CFO who cares how you're going to do it until they understand why it's important to your organization. I'm a content creator in the data space, the data whisperer. In case you haven't noticed, spoiler alert, I don't do a whole lot of whispering. We save that for the data. But we've got to be out there yelling, telling, and selling about the power and value of the data work you do. If you don't, you are up against all kinds of competition in your organization. I work with the data puppets. If you come tomorrow at 2:40, I've got a data puppet show I'm doing. I hang with the folks called the Data Avengers. I've got all kinds of wonderful accolades. I've got videos on YouTube if you want to check them out. And I do events and content. I'm a content partner with Infocepts. And in case you're wondering, this is actually a demo. I'm showing you what I do right here. I've got a book called Telling Your Data Story, Data Storytelling for Data Management. 99% buzzword free. I did not want to overpromise. Recently translated into French, where it's 99% Saint Ma à la mode, which of course means no words with ice cream. These are on sale at the book stand. If you're interested, I'd be happy to sign one for you. And we're all trying to be disruptive in the data space. I come by that honestly as well. I've been disruptive since the 4th grade. There's my 4th grade picture. See if you can pick me out. That's me. Still fond of the polka dots. And in my 4th grade report card, my teacher wrote, Scott is disruptive and distracting to others. I took that as a compliment. When you talk about the business, when you talk about data to your business, do your business partners ask, in the great words of the wonderful Canadian philosopher, I'm sure some of you are wondering, Canadian philosopher? Yes, Avril Lavigne. Why do you have to go make things so complicated? Why do we do that? Why do we have to add all these buzzwords to everything? That was from her hit Dater Boy, if you notice that. Data is so confusing. It is so confusing. Who's got a lake house? I'm sure your CEO thinks that's where data goes on vacation. The fabric, the data fabric, it ripped. The data mesh, it got tangled. How about going for the data Spanx? Tighten up that integration. You've heard of AI, BI? You know what's next? CI, DI, EI, EIO. Who knows what's going on next? Software as a service. I heard somebody say it's flipped around now as service as a software. Have you heard that? That's literally SaaS backwards. Who does SQL? Everybody find a SQL. You all use SQL. Maybe you use NoSQL. Audience participation here. What does the NO stand for, NoSQL? Anybody know? Not only. Not only. Only in the data space does no equal yes. That's why we're so confused. They're setting a standard for identification in the Internet of Things, only it's called idiot. It's not going to work. Or you may have tried integrated platform as a service with governance as a service. I pass gas. That's an elevator pitch you do not want to experience, believe me. My eyes are burning from that demo. If you boil down my total data philosophy and in storytelling, which is what I'm going to help you with, you've got to be succinct, you've got to be direct, you've got to be able to boil things down to their essence. And for me, you can boil my entire data philosophy down to 3 words. Truth before meaning. You must determine the truth in your data before you deriving any meaning out of it. It is not chicken or egg here. It is egg and omelet. If you don't have truth in your data, you're not going to derive the meaning that you intend to get out of it to help your business. So you've got to build that foundation. You've got to do that data truth first. And on that data journey, when I talk about truth before meaning, on the truth part, those are activities like data management, data governance, data quality, data stewardship, master data, reference data, metadata, MDM, RDM, PIM, RIM, DAM, all those foundational things that you know and I know you need to steward and curate and deliver that enterprise-grade content across your organization before you derive meaning out of it. Through business intelligence, analytics, data science, data literacy, visualization, AI, ML, all the cool, hot, super fancy stuff that gets a disproportionate amount of the attention and spotlight and funding given how it is based on the determining the truth part. So when you think about telling stories, determining the truth is where data starts. Deriving meaning is where data ends up. And where it ends up is in front of the business, which is why they don't always get the foundational part. They don't see that, but they feel it. They feel it when it doesn't work. So there's 2 types of storytelling out there. A lot of books on the stories with data. Super important. Classic data storytelling. I wish it was called analytic storytelling, frankly, but ways to put data and insight into a business context to drive some form of action. But then there's the stories about data, about why managing it's important, about why you should leverage data across your organization. Does your entire board understand why? But GenAI's here. All right. Got to be a new story, right? Got to be a new story. Everybody's doing GenAI. It's got to be different now, is it? Well, all of a sudden they're talking about the training corpus. If you heard Mike Ferguson this morning, he talked about AI governance being so important. So if we go back a little ways, remember COVID and e-commerce, and everybody leapt into e-commerce, and all of a sudden they realized, well, our product reference data isn't very good. And there were record MDM inquiries for the analysts, Gartner, and so on. All of a sudden everybody realized, uh-oh, we've got to get that data act together. Data science, but they spent all this time munging and wrangling. 80% of their time munging and wrangling, and 20% of their time complaining about munging and wrangling. If you know Andrew Ng, great thought leader in the space, he suddenly came through, all respect, this breakthrough observation that if you want to make your data science work better, don't be so model-centric, be data-centric. Make sure the content's good. Hello, Andrew. I've been around for like 30 years here talking about that. Big data needs little data. You need that third V is what really kills you, that variety. Volume you can handle, velocity you can handle, but the variety, the integration, the structuring it is what killed it. Even all the way back to enterprise systems. Back in before pre-2K, if you will. People were implementing all these enterprise systems, SAP, and so on. They realized they had to harmonize their legacy data. All of a sudden, people started talking about data silos and domain masters. And we'll go as far back as I can go because I'm running out of room on this slide. Go all the way back to general ledger, basic accounting. And what do you need to make that work? A chart of accounts. So in case you're wondering, from GenAI to GenLedger, it's the same story every time. Truth before meaning. So the truth about data management is the success of every digitally transformative customer-facing initiative, every as-a-service offering, every foray into e-commerce, every enterprise software implementation, every generative AI project is inextricably linked to the successful output of your data management efforts. That is the longest-winded way I could come up with to just simply say, G-I-G-O. Garbage in, garbage out. Or for this crowd, rubbish in, rubbish out as well. It works either way. We learn it on the first day of data, don't we? It's as sure as gravity. What goes up must come down. What goes in must come out. But I like to call it the golden rule of data. Elevate the conversation a little bit. Do unto your data as you would have it do unto you. What you put into data management is what you will get out of business intelligence or analytics or whatever they're calling it these days. Because you put bad data into an ERP, you get a lousy ERP. You put bad data into CRM, you will miss customer opportunities. You put bad data into fintech, you'll get a visit from the regulators. Bad data into BI, BS. Bad data into AI, AS, artificial stupidity. No matter how you slice it or how you dice it, the golden rule of data prevails. Do unto your data as you would have it do unto you. There's a little bit of that evangelism for you. Or another way to put it, a little more philosophically, good decisions made on bad data are just bad decisions you don't know about yet. My most quoted quote. But every company, every single one of you has a data story to tell. Every one of you. And it's about why managing data is of strategic importance to your organization. You've got to be able to put that story together. Now, why do you need a story? Let's talk about that. All of a sudden, no, you've got the data model. You're already set. You've got the implementation plan. Why do you need a story? Because you want to build, grow, and improve relationships, which is what business is all about, whether they're internal or external. You've got to build and improve and grow your relationships. And if you want to relate, you've got to communicate. Just ask anybody you love. Isn't that right, sweetheart? That's my girl over there, the data whisperer. My wife, Marianne. She knows we communicate. We'll take the applause there for you. You get the applause, baby. I'll give it all to you. Now, how do you start that story? Some people start with like, okay, well, every company is a data company, or every company is a software company, or as of 18 months ago, every company is an AI company. I hate this logic. If the tools you use made you the kind of company you are, then every company is a paperclip company. Nobody's bragging about that. Or you might start it with some analysis from one of the top analysts here. I love this. Starting your story. Organizations that measure the value of master data, Gartner did this survey. 90% said, no, we don't measure it. And 10% said other. I hope yes is in other. I come from the MDM space. I love MDM so much I had to pull off the road and take a selfie in front of Michelson Door Manufacturing. But I describe MDM, a tough one to describe. Foundational, old, almost seems kind of back office kind of thing. It creates a common language for your organization. That's how to articulate it. It helps you establish a standard. While your board may not understand the technical parts, they certainly understand the importance of a standard in your organization. And at a certain degree, it's just simply about rows and columns. Think about banging two spreadsheets together. Anybody can add columns. Really tough to align those rows, isn't it? Columns are easy. Rows are hard. And I was reminded at a recent trip to the Acropolis, it's all about rows and columns. But data management, it can be painful. It can be painful, absolutely. I'm reminded of a story early on in my career. I was talking to the head of sales of an organization. We were talking about a data project. And he goes, Scott, we can slice and dice our data any way we want to. All I have to do is push a button. And this really courageous analyst at the end of the table stood up and said, sir, I'm the button. I'm sure some of you have been that button in your company. It hurts, doesn't it? So I'm going to show you what pain looks like. I'm going to show you what data pain looks like. This is a warning here. This is graphic content. This might be very disturbing to some of you data stewards in the room. I call it naked data because there's no way to hide from it. All right, are we ready? There it is. That's it. These are from embarrassingly large global enterprises who don't know what they're doing with Coca-Cola, can't spell Nestle the same way twice, trying to deal with 7-Eleven. Have you picked it up yet? But 7 equals 11. Not in base 10. This last column came from an organization that put a field force into stores. And so they had their retail merchandisers put a whole database together of all the different 7-Eleven locations. We took a look at that, and they had over 275 different configurations of the 7-Eleven banner name. Beautiful. A lot of creativity in the field. None of it selling products. And if you think software alone is going to fix it, you put this in Excel and you get November 7th. Except when I'm back home and you get July 11th, so it doesn't work. Even we can't agree what it looks like. Here's a good one here. I love this. Sometimes when the data's right and the system isn't, I don't know if you see the shoe sizes there, but I wear a 5th of October. So you got to find that data story. How do you find that data story? I can't talk to each of you individually, so let me come up with a way that I think is relevant to every organization out there. Every one of you is trying to provide value to your relationships through your brands at scale. Provide value to your relationships through your brands at scale. All of you want to do that. And we think about provide value. It's what I said in the beginning. You want to grow your business. You want to improve your business. You want to protect your business. Those are the only 3 buckets I know of that data can help with. Grow, increase sales, improve operational efficiency, protect, mitigate risk. If you want to scale, you need hardware, you need software, you need data. If you have data, you need data management. And when we talk about relationships, you all have relationships. Every business has relationships. You don't have relationships, you don't have a business. But you might call it something else. You want to use that vocabulary in your organization. It might be customer, vendor, partner, prospect, citizen, patient, client, consumer. Whatever those relationships are, you have terminology for them. And you all have products and brands and offerings and services and banners and ingredients and all these piece parts that go into whatever service you have or product. These are all the atomic elements of your business. How's your data on that stuff? Duplicates? 7-Eleven slide, you got one? Everybody always wants a copy of that. Make your own and rub your organization's face in it to a certain degree. This is the garbage in. So I'm going to talk about and give you just a quick framework here to put this story together, what I call the 3 V's of data storytelling. A knowing wink to the 3 V's of big data, obviously, but mine are vocabulary, voice, and vision. So the words you use are super important. I say cut all the buzzwords. You want to establish an accessible vocabulary. You want to skip this legacy lexicon. Things I hate to break it to you, but things like we need data quality, that doesn't sell. It's important. You got to have it, but it's not going to drive any action. And they're going to say, why do we need data quality? And the answer to that question is what you start with. So you want to speak to the business, you've got to speak the language of the business. Voice is the way you talk. How do you articulate this? Get your story straight. Practice it in front of somebody. Can you do an elevator pitch in an actual elevator? Can you put a quick 2-sentence paragraph together about why managing data is important. So when you bump into your CEO at the company picnic or at the holiday party, you can give them that pitch very quickly. You want to put an internal marketing program together to a certain extent. How do you market this internally? How do you get stakeholders involved? How do you get that funding? How do you get that support? You got to put that story together. And if you're looking for clues on what type of marketing program, use analogies. I love analogies. They're a great way to explain things. And don't try and come up with something too off your business. Use your own business as an analogy. If you're a healthcare company, data is the lifeblood of our organization. A healthy business runs on healthy data. I saw a CDO of a water utility speak once, and he talked about how everybody in the organization knew this water was clean from this source. It went through all these pipes. When you turn the spigot, you could depend on it. What they did with the water was what the business wanted to do or the analytics folks wanted to do, but they had that framework. I saw a CDO from the Air Force talked about how data is the payload of our business. You don't all want to use that. But use your own company's slogan and play with it. Put the word data in there. You're not running ads on TV. This doesn't have to be Madison Avenue marketing, but it's got to be something. So use your own organization and what you do as an analogy for why data will help you. And then finally, vision. Why it's important. Everything we do in data needs to enable the strategic intentions of your enterprise. Where is your company going, and why is data going to help you get there? That's the question you want to be able to answer. And if you're looking for what your vision is, it's all over your company. If you're a public company, read your annual report. Read your CEO letter. What are they saying about the vision of the company? I guarantee, even though I haven't read any of them, they're not talking about data quality. But they are talking about relationships, and they are talking about brands, and they are talking about how they do that at scale. And you can help them. Unlike any other department, the data department can work across an organization to provide horizontal value. There's no other department that can do that. Marketing can't, sales can't, operations can't, legal certainly can't, but data goes across a whole organization and can enable every type of process across your company. It's your job to put all that together. So vocabulary, the words you use, voice, the way you talk, and vision, why it's important. And to quote a great storyteller, Aaron Sorkin, the most powerful delivery system ever invented for an idea is a story. And this guy wrote some great ones. And to reference one of them, without data management, you can't handle the truth. But with all respect to them and Jack, with data management, you can handle the truth. So in these last few minutes, I want to share one last story with you, a cautionary tale about the lack of support for data governance. It's a little data bedtime story I read to my grandson. It's called The Little Red Data Hen. I hope you enjoy it. Whoop. How'd you like it? How are we doing today? Should we read some books?
Yes. Could you read me a book about data governance, Papa?
Of course I can. How about The Little Red Data Hen?
Yeah.
Once upon a time, in a legacy barnyard, there was a little red data hen. She knew all her data could help all the other animals do their job better, but they never paid enough attention. One day, the little red data hen called all the animals into the barnyard. Who wants to create a data-driven utopia of interoperability where our insights flow freely from workflow to edge across integrated ecosystems? Asked the little red data hen.
I want a buzzword.
I know. Who wants great data? Asked the little red data hen. I do. Mood, the sales cow. I need to cross-sell and upsell. I do. Bark, bark the finance puppy. I need to maintain regulatory compliance. I do. Oink, the marketing pig. I need better targeting for our customer journey. But the little red data hen had a big problem. All our data is a mess, she said, and it's stuck in silos. And because she lived on a farm, those were real silos.
What are silos?
That's a place where people keep data separate from other data.
Why?
It's a problem everywhere.
So they don't get mixed up?
Yeah. so they don't get mixed up. I'm seeking stakeholder engagement, said the Little Red Hen. Who will help me collect and catalog the data, she asked. Not I, moved the sales cow. I need to focus on revenue. Not I, barked the finance puppy. I don't see the immediate ROI. Not I, oinked the marketing pig. My priority is brand equity. Oh, very well, I'll do it myself, said the Little Red Data Hen. And she collected and cataloged all the data she could from all the silos and migrated it.
Did she do ETL?
No, she did ELT.
Oh.
Now, the Little Red Data Hen needed more help. Who will help me govern, structure, and steward the data? Not I. You're in charge of data, not me. Not I. That sounds like an IT job. Not I. Just upgrade your software stack and that will take care of it. Oh, very well. I'll do it myself, said the Little Red Data Hen. And she went off and established a data governance skunk works. And because she lived on a farm, she used a real skunk.
Yeah.
Finally, the Little Red Data Hen thought she had everything ready to go. She had taken the data from the silos, she cataloged, governed, structured, and stewarded the data in a hybrid cloud data lake behind the barn.
She could use a data mix.
You're right. Who will help me leverage all our trusted data, asked the Little Red Hen. I will. Now I have customer 360. I will. Now all our numbers tie up. I will. Now we can reduce customer churn. Finally, the whole barnyard can have consistent KPIs. They all mooed and barked and oinked. The Little Red Hen was so happy and excited. Unfortunately, it was too late. By that point, the legacy barnyard was disrupted by a data science-based farming startup that used predictive analytics to provide an innovative crop-as-a-service offering.
What's that mean?
They had to close down because they waited too long to fix their data.
Why?
They just couldn't get the stakeholder engagement. The finance puppy was given away. The sales cow, the marketing pig, and the Little Red Data Hen were all sold to a food service operation.
How?
Don't be like a bunch of silly barnyard animals. Managing data is the job of the whole farm. The end.
Something funny, but Papa, is data the new oil?
That is a different story.
All right, let's hear it for Data Whisperer Jr. We're so proud of him. He just got named in the Data 10 under 10. So living happily ever after here. I only have a few more minutes with you, but it's been a ball. Every enterprise has a data story to tell. It's about providing value to your relationships through your brands at scale. Two types of data storytelling out there. One about data and one with data. Balance the how and the why. I focused on the why today because I think you all want to focus on that a little bit more, but you got to know how to do it once they say yes. Leverage those 3 V's if they help you: vocabulary, voice, and vision. And an effective narrative is going to capture the hearts and minds of your organization. A story can move faster than a process in a company, and storytelling is a superpower. Did you notice? You can all get better at it. Practice at it. I'm different. I got a fear of not public speaking. But all of you out there, when you talk to your groups, get better at that. And I'm happy to help you with all of it. So, and that'll help you bridge the story gap in your organization. And the last page in my book, hardware comes and goes, software comes and goes, but data remains. I want to thank you all for your time and attention today. This was a ball. It went by so fast. Join us for data drinks over at the Infocepts booth. Check out their session tomorrow. And if you like what I'm doing, check me out in the X-axis. I'll be presenting the data puppets, really innovative analog way to do data storytelling. But I'm Scott Taylor, the Data Whisperer here, and thrilled to see you all. Thank you all very much.